Hello and welcome back to my channel, Preparing for Retirement. My name is Martha, and on this channel we talk about all things that I'm doing to get ready for retirement. And today what I wanted to talk about was 7 ways that you can increase the amount that you're going to be saving towards your retirement. Some of these are what I would consider to be painless. Some of them just require a little bit of discipline and a different way of thinking about things. I've got notes down here. So if I look away, I'm just checking my notes. So let's get started. 7 ways that you can save more money for your retirement. So let's start with number one. Number one, when you get a raise at work. And I do realize not everybody is in a situation where you're getting a raise every year. But when you get a raise, that's money you've not had before. It's money that you're not used to receiving right away. So when you get a raise, take a certain percentage and just add that percentage of your raise to your savings account. Just do it automatically. So some 401ks for companies, they have what's called like a smart saver program or something like that. Fidelity, my company has a 401k through ADP, and they have that. They have a smart saver program, and you can set it to automatically increase 1% a year. I go in there myself, and I just increase it every year. I started out maybe only saving 6 or 8% or something like that. And over the years, I'm starting in 2025, I'll now be at 20% of my pay going into my 401k. You can do that. You can make part of it Roth. You can make part of it pre-tax traditional. But the point is that I didn't see that money before. This is new money, and I'm still going to have some in my raise left over that I can use to address increased costs of living, things like that. But at least that 1% for me, at least that 1% is going to be now added into my retirement savings. And so it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. That's number one. Number two, when you are transferring money into your savings, do it using some sort of an automated, scheduled transfer. So for me, I use my direct deposit. When I have my paycheck has money direct deposited into my 401k. It has money direct deposited into my HSA, and then I have money direct deposited also into my savings. So I don't even see that money. I know what my amount is going to be that goes into my my household checking for our bills and whatnot. And so I don't even see that money. It's like it doesn't even exist for me until I go log into my brokerage account, and there it is. So that's another good tip. And then every year, if I can, I try to increase that amount a little bit too. That's me personally, but I'm always looking at ways to try to go just a little bit further with it. So that's number two. Transfer it using direct deposit or some sort of an automated process that's scheduled, so you don't even see the money. Number three, for your savings, keep them in another institution. At least your emergency savings, keep it in another institution, whether that's online, whether it's a brokerage account, a bank elsewhere in the city. Just keep it away from your expense money. Okay, for you to do this means that you're putting an extra barrier in, so that it's not very easy for you to go in there and just say, okay, I want to move $100 from here to there. Okay, you can't just do that. Oh, hey, I want to go clothes shopping and I need $500 out of my emergency savings. Okay, it's not an emergency. It's not an emergency, and that's going to take me some time to get that money from A to B. Either I have to go out to a bank and withdraw the money and then take it to the other bank, or go shopping with it, or whatever. It's going to require some sort of effort on my part. I have my emergency fund in my brokerage, and then on top of that, Fidelity has what's called a transfer lock. So I can't transfer money out of that account without actually going in and unlocking the account. So it's both a security measure so that no one can take your money, but it's also I look at it as a deterrent for me wanting to spend that money when it's actually in my savings. So tip number 3 is to basically make it inconvenient for yourself to spend your savings. Make it inconvenient. That way, it's going to be something that you've thought about, you've considered carefully. I've heard of people, for example, freezing their credit cards so that they have to thaw out for them to be able to use them. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do try to wall off my emergency savings so that I can't access it so easily. So that's step 3. Step 4. I love this. So Fidelity, I don't know if it's new this year, but they came out with a program called the 52-week challenge. And you don't need Fidelity to do it. You can do it yourself. All it is you start out in week 1 with $1. And every week you put that much more in. So week 1 is $1. Week 2, you're putting in $2. Week 3, you're transferring into your savings $3. Week 4, you're transferring $4, and so on and so on. By the time you get to week 52, you're putting in $52. Now, at the end of the year, you would have transferred over $1,300 into your savings. And at this point that I'm in week 14 now, it's painless. It's painless for me. I don't even feel it. I'm doing it for myself and I'm doing it for my husband. So I'm actually doing $2 and $4 and $6. So we're going to end up having put another $2,600 in the bank. And I don't think I'm going to really even feel it until the very end when I have to make sure, oh yeah, I got to have that extra money in there to make sure that I can transfer, close to $375 or $400 in the last month. So, I think it's ingenious. And like I said, you don't need Fidelity. You can do it yourself. You can put it in a jar if you want to. You can take a jar and just put in the number of dollar bills that you need each week, or into an envelope or anything. And just at the end of the time, you can deposit that money in. Now, I'm putting it in Fidelity because at the very least, it'll get interest. Right now, I'm getting 4.3% interest on the cash management account. So, or you can do it as a IRA contribution. You can do that too. So, the point is to do these little painless things that end up, those dollars matter. Those dollars matter. Does $1 matter? Maybe not. Does $1,300 matter? Yeah, it does. So go ahead and do that. So that's number 4. Number 5, how many of us, when our car insurance comes due, we just pay it? We just pay it when the policy rolls over and it's due. We don't look around. We don't ask. How many of these things do we do? Our subscriptions, our phone plans, our homeowner's insurance if you own a house, renter's insurance if you don't. You don't shop around. And, you may be losing out on savings by not shopping around. So let me give an example. We had been with Verizon for about 20 years. Seriously, 20 years with Verizon. We were paying for 2 unlimited plans. We were paying about $178 a month for my husband and I. Now, I have to have a smartphone in my work, so it's not something that I can just say, I'm not going to have a phone. I can't do that. I have to have it for my job. So I forget how it came about, but I saw some publication or something where it recommended T-Mobile, and I went to T-Mobile and talked to somebody, and we have unlimited accounts. We're both over 55, so it's part of their 55 plus, their essentials, I think it's called. And we have 2 phones for $30. Boom, I just saved $148 a month with them and gotten more service, honestly. What did I lose? I lost the free Disney Plus that I was getting with Verizon that I didn't watch anyway. So there you go. But, with $150 of savings, if I want to get Disney Plus every month, I can get Disney Plus every month. The point is that I could have done this years ago and I didn't even look. So, take a time when your insurance policies start anew with the year. Take a time and call around, make a couple of phone calls, see if you can maybe find some savings in bundling, meaning getting more than one product from one company. Sometimes they'll give you a savings for that. So you never know if you don't try. So that's number 5. Number 6, this is a biggie. This is a huge one. So let me give you a little backstory on this. So this is talking about buying items that go down in value with credit. Okay. So when the dot-com bust happened, we were in what we felt was a very good financial situation. We had 2 brand new cars and brand new car loans. We had a home and a mortgage. I was a stay-at-home mom, and our debt-to-income level was fantastic. We had a great employee stock option program with his company at the time. We had a lot saved for retirement that we felt, this is fantastic. We're doing great. We're only in our 30s. This is great. We're going to be able to retire early, no problem. Well, then the dot-com bust happens, and my husband was in software. And in fact, his company went from being one of the most powerful software companies on the planet, that's Sun Microsystems, for those of you that were around in those days, to not existing anymore in the space of, I don't know, a couple months. So right away, employee stock options, gone, worthless. The stock was worthless. Our only household income, gone. You can't work for a company that doesn't exist. So here we are, we've got 2 brand new cars, probably had about $900 a month in payments. So 2 brand new cars, brand new home that was in a very nice neighborhood, and no income. So what we had to do was spend all of our retirement accounts trying to not be foreclosed on. And we made it. We got there. We finally sold the house. It took 2 years. It was such a severe downturn in 2000, 2001. A lot of people were just devastated and lost everything. And we were some of them. So ever since then, I don't buy anything that goes down in value, or the word for that is depreciates, using credit. If I buy a car, it's going to be in cash. If I have to go out and buy groceries, I'm going to cash flow that. Now, whether that goes through a credit card that I pay off every month, that may happen. But I never finance things that don't appreciate. So because of that, I have a mortgage on my house, and that's it. That's what I have. Once you've been through something as traumatic as that, it really changes the way that you view debt. It really changes it. When you felt the pressure of not knowing, because you're losing everything and you can't seem to sell your house and you can't seem to get a job because nobody's hiring. Once you go through that, you really think about things very differently. So anyway, that's my story. But that is one way. Don't pay for things that depreciate with credit. That's number 6. Number 7. This is somewhat related to number 6. Always, 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 always look at the total cost. So the way that people end up in unwise financial decisions is they go in and they say, I could do a $350 payment. Well, let's talk about cars. So once you go into a car dealership and you tell them, I could do a $350 payment, they're going to make doggone sure that you get that expensive car with a $350 payment. So maybe you no longer have a 5-year car loan. Maybe now your car loan is 7 years or 9 years or something ridiculous. At 7 or 9 years, you're going to have repairs. So now you've got a car loan plus repairs. So, don't look at it that way. You have to look at it like, what is the total cost of this going to be if I finance it? What's the total cost? Or say that you actually follow number 6 like I do, where you don't depreciate, or you don't finance depreciating assets. Then you look at, what's the cost to maintain this vehicle? How much is it going to cost me to buy it and maintain it? And there are different resources out there. CarEdge.com has a total cost. You can look up in their resources, you can look up the type of car that you want to buy, and you can see what the total cost is. You can also do what we do, which is we drive old cars. We get a pre-purchase inspection so that we know exactly what we're buying. We buy them with cash, and then all we have is just an insurance payment, which is much lower than for a new car. And then we also have maintenance, which we plan for. And so far, I've had a car that I bought for $10,000, a Mercedes, that was so clean and in such good condition that the mechanic that did the pre-purchase inspection said, "Lady, if you don't buy this, I'm going to buy it." I got it for $10,000. That was back in 2016, I think. And I've been driving that car for 8 years, and it's only needed a couple of things done to it. So probably I've spent maybe $3,000 in maintenance in 8 years, maybe $4,000, which is nothing. Now the oil changes are expensive. Those are more expensive, so I should add those on. But so like maybe $5,000 in maintenance. But the fact is that I had no car loan, and my insurance was like a fifth of the cost of what it would have been for a new car, because it's a 2007. So anyway, I did want to just kind of take this moment and just kind of talk to you, because I know that, as a country, we don't save a whole lot. I think that in 2022, I think Fortune magazine said that the typical savings was 4% a year for a household. And the median income, that means the middle one, so you can't get skewed by the really high incomes, or the median income was $37,000. So I did the math on that. The median income was $37,585, and the 4% savings that represents is $1,500 a year. So let's talk about that. If you saved $1,500 a year, then you're talking about maybe being able to retire after 40 years, assuming you don't get any raises. But raises, inflation, tomorrow's dollars, it's all going to offset. So we're just going to deal with this. If you put in $1,500 or 4% of your income every year into the market, and you made 8%, which has been the average historically, I think is like 9 point something, your end balance is going to be $388,000. So let me tell you, that is it's good. It's good. But if you can use even one or two of the methods that I've given, that I've listed off, like say you do the 52-week challenge, well, that's another $1,300. So now you've got $2,800. And let me tell you, I did another calculation per year. If you put in $2,500 instead of the $1,500, you're not even doing the full 52-week challenge, but you put in $2,500 with that for the year at 8%, you end up after 40 years with $647,000, which is a darn sight easier to retire on with your Social Security than the $388,000. So, just try to think of it like this. When you get to be my age and you're looking at retirement, you're not going to be super thankful for, those bougie coffees and whatnot you're getting every day. You didn't have to do it every day. You can treat yourself once in a while, right? You don't have to do it every single day. If you can take that money and you can put it into your savings, and be better prepared for retirement so that you are contributing $2,500 a year, $200 a month, and then you end up with $647,000, it's worth it. So again, 7 ways that you can save more money for retirement, and you can start these anytime. So I'm going to be doing the 52-week challenge every year now. I think this is kind of fun. So just watching the money go in, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's another deposit this week. So anyway, thank you for listening. If you like the type of content that I produce, then please do like and subscribe. And I'll see you again soon.